clowns in the circus, bourgeoisie, where the rich sing the blues till their trousers fall down. Then they give you the price of a nice cup of tea. Be reasonable and demand the impossible now. Yeah, be reasonable and demand the impossible now.
He stayed soon. Hammers.
Do you want things?
Directions, get down to the demo. If you go walk that way,
What way?
down to the lights, turn left.
Down to the lights and turn left.
Oh, there's over there. Nuclear disarmament, when do we want it? Now! Cameron, get out! We know what you're all about! Cuts, job losses, money for the bosses! Cameron, get out! We know what you're all about! Cuts, job losses, money for the bosses!
I love it.
So we'll drop through.
Cameron! Out!
Blair! Warmonger! Blair! Warmonger!
Cameron!
Out!
Cameron!
Out!
Cameron!
Out!
Before a selfie stick had even been recorded.
Monopod. Yes.
Trident!
Out!
Trident!
Out!
Trident!
Out!
David Cameron, get out! We know what you're all about! Cuts, job losses, money for the bosses! David Cameron, get out! We know what you're all about! Cuts, job losses, money for the bosses!
That's a good one. Did you make that up yourself?
Good on him. That's not Billy Bragg, is
Singing
it?
live.
Yeah.
Do you want to walk that way and see? Yeah.
Have to go over there and round the side, I reckon.
That's fine. It's just the front.
Be a big mosh pit at the front, wasn't it?
We're thinking of going down that way to see if we can see what the problem is. Shall we go? Are we going? So just try it. Want me to?
How to make up your to make us illegal, make us like migrants in the towns of our birth. When you go on your holidays and you swill your champagne, oh, the rich get the pleasure and the poor take the blame. But here on this street, here in this union, here in our hearts, here in our hands, the future starts here. The future starts here. 'Cause we carry with us all the work of our fathers, all the strength of our mothers, and that faith in the future that works for the million, not millionaire. Well, all shall be valued, all will be shared. And here on this street, here in this union, here in our hearts, here in our hands, the future starts here. Yeah, the future starts here. When we say spring old animals, vote for the clowns in the circus, bourgeoisie, where the rich sing the blues till their trousers fall down, then they give you the price of a nice cup of tea. Be reasonable and demand the impossible now. Yeah, be reasonable and demand the impossible now. Throw guns and hospitals on every street.
Oh, I don't know how many times I've walked up here protesting about various things.
Fight back!
You say come back! We say fight back!
As Kate pointed out, £186 billion being spent on Trident, money that could be spent on our schools, money that could be spent on our hospitals. The National Health Service is predicted to post a £2.2 billion deficit this year, unprecedented in the history of the health service. So it's a matter of political priorities, and they say it's that we need to live within our means, but it's always austerity for us and blunt checks for wars and weapons of mass destruction. But we're here to say no to that. We're here to say invest in our public services, our houses, our homes, our schools and our hospitals. But this isn't just a token demonstration. When we march, when we organise and when we build movements like this one, then we can win.
Okay, hello everybody. Along with the births of my 3 children, this is the best day of my life. Well, it's obvious leaders who choose nuclear weapons and close down maternity wards, paediatric units, A&E have chosen death over life. That's obvious, isn't it? Why don't we demand another referendum this year? Do we want a fully functional NHS, proper pay, proper working conditions, non-privatised, no closures, or do we want to kill and maim over 1 million people?
And this year, perhaps, the decision will come about whether or not the UK should renew the Trident nuclear system. This is, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the biggest and most important decisions that the UK Parliament will take in this term. And before those who support the renewal of Trident line up to tell us that it would be absurd, that it would be dangerous, that it would be out of step not to renew Trident, let us remind them of this. The vast overwhelming majority of countries the world over do not have nuclear weapons. It is the norm, it is the rule in the world today to be nuclear free. It is the exception to the rule to possess nuclear weapons. Let that message ring out loudly and clearly. I think there are many reasons to oppose the renewal of Trident. Indeed, to demand the scrapping of Trident. Firstly, let's remember the moral case. The use of Trident nuclear weapons would bring about human devastation and suffering on an unimaginable scale. Trident is immoral.
The message that we want the government to hear loud and clear, and that is that to contemplate using nuclear weapons, which would kill tens of millions of civilians and destroy huge swathes of this beautiful planet, is both illegal and immoral. We're here to say stop hiding behind the rhetoric of pretending this is about deterrence. We should call it how it is. Nuclear weapons are weapons of mass destruction. And that's why we say so loudly and clearly that in seeking to replace our nuclear weapons, this government is in breach of international law. We say stop Trident now. Is a Cold War relic. It is a reckless vanity project that makes us less safe, not more safe. It makes us less safe because of accidents and miscalculations. It makes us less safe because it sends a message to the rest of the world that security depends on nuclear weapons. And yet, can we really have any moral authority to lecture other countries against seeking to acquire nuclear weapons if we are replacing our own? And do we really think the world is going to be a safer place if every nation has nuclear weapons, or if no member states have nuclear weapons? The answer is clear. Our government is acting as a rogue state, and we say not in our name.
Hello Trafalgar Square, it's Jeremy here. I'm coming down from Sheffield, but I've been in Yorkshire this morning to speak with you in Trafalgar Square on the case for a nuclear-free world. Look forward to seeing you.
On the security front, how would spending billions of pounds on upgrading our nuclear capability, when we are pressing other nations never to possess, improve security and stability around the world? If we were serious about spreading peace and stability, we mustn't proliferate peace. We mustn't proliferate threats and make other nations feel the need to weaponize themselves. The actions of our government is absolutely contradictory to everything that it claims. At a time when society is being divided by failed economic and social policies, by scaremongering, by the rise of racism, fear and Islamophobia, and large sectors of British society are feeling fear of other sectors of the society, the government thinks that by spending such incredible amounts of money we claim we don't have on nuclear capabilities, we will achieve safety, security and prosperity. How deluded can a government be?
I'm a student nurse at King's College in London, and in November George Osborne disgracefully cut the NHS bursaries for healthcare students. NHS students work incredibly hard. We do 2,300 hours clinical placement. We work nights, weekends, 12.5-hour shifts. I've been the privileged student nurse who's held a patient's hand in their last moments. I've been the privileged student nurse who's spent the day comforting and supporting the family, the one who gets the tissues, the one who hugs and consoles them in my arms at the loss of their loved one. George Osborne, you should resign now. So here we are, and I'm standing here defending the training of the future workforce of the NHS when the Tories are renewing Trident, which could fund 2.5 million student nurses through their training. The bursary is not a cost but an investment in every single one of you. The Tories are destroying, ripping apart and chewing up our NHS. Jeremy Hunt is not a fool. His advisor is Simon Stevens, who is heavily linked to private healthcare companies. And let's not forget, Jeremy Hunt wrote a book about privatising the NHS. He's imposing unsafe and unfair contracts on our doctors. He's risking people's lives. Jeremy Hunt, you need to resign too.
I think we should just consider for a moment what a nuclear weapon actually is. It is a weapon of mass destruction. If ever used, it can only kill large numbers of civilians. They've only once been used in war, and that was in Japan in 1945, and we still see the consequences in the cancers and the destruction and the horror of very old people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I had the honour of attending the Humanitarian Effects of War conference held in Vienna. I was part of a British peace delegation, and I'm pleased to say at that conference the British and American governments were represented. We were told in the most graphic detail possible by scientists, by nuclear experts, two things. One is how a nuclear weapon explodes, and secondly, what the effects are. The immediate environmental effect, the immediate destruction, the immediate problems of the fallout, the slightly later ecological disaster that follows, the economic impact that follows, the food supply impact that follows from one nuclear explosion in one place, in one spot on our globe. It would have global effects. If a nuclear war took place, there would be mass destruction on both sides. Absolute mass destruction on both sides of the conflict that took place. I think everyone who is about to make a decision on what we do about our nuclear weapons should think about the humanitarian effects on wholly innocent people anywhere across this globe if they're ever used. I believe that the result we achieved in that dramatic election last year was about reaching out of a different kind of politics in a different kind of world. A world that emphasizes dealing with the crying needs of the poor and homeless in this country. Those that are going short and suffering public spending cuts in this country, but also a globe in which we address the grotesque levels of inequality across this planet. We solve those by together sharing and working together. We have a serious process of looking after each other by that means. Thank you for coming to today's demonstration. Thank you for showing that you care. And thank you for wanting a peaceful future for this country and the rest of the world. Thank you.
Vote for the clowns in the circus, bourgeoisie, where the rich sing the blues till their trousers fall down. Then they give you the price of a nice cup of tea. Be reasonable and demand the impossible now. Yeah, be reasonable and demand